Good evening from R.A. Fagnall Hall on the campus of Elmhurst College, where the Elmhurst College Blue Jays are set to take on the Concordia University of Wisconsin Falcons here in a wrestling matchup. Luke Tanaka with you. Glad to have you alongside. Before we get to today's lineups and the national anthem, we are going to have our annual Senior Day festivities for the Elmhurst wrestling program here today. So we're going to throw it down to the PA announcer, Sandy, for that presentation.
He's wrestled at 133 and is a graduate of Lane Tech High School. Tom Angston. Now please welcome senior Luis Montoya, a 4-year member of the Blue Jays who's wrestled at 197. He posted a 12-8 record his sophomore year before battling injuries last season. This season he has a 1-1 record while wrestling at heavyweight. He's won 18 matches in his career and is a graduate of Lockport High School, accompanied by Maria and Luis. Ladies and gentlemen, senior Luis Montoya. We welcome our third senior, Ronnie Hauser. Ronnie is in his first season with the Blue Jays after transferring prior to the start of this season. Since joining the Blue Jays, he started at 141 and owns a 5-1 record on the short season. He most recently took home second place at the Concordia University Open. He's a graduate of Friend High School, and he is accompanied by Ron and Michelle. Ladies and gentlemen, Ronnie Hauser. Next, ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation to Bobby Schillinger. Senior Bobby Schillinger is in his 4th season with the Blue Jays. He's wrestled at 184. He finished 3rd in last year's Alhanky Invitational and earned a 4th place finish at the Conference Championships in 2015. He's totaled 19 career victories. This graduate of Yorkville High School is accompanied by Brian and Jeannie and his brother, Roger. And our final senior this evening, Tim Novarini. Tim's in his 2nd season with the Blue Jays after transferring to Elmhurst before the start of the 15-16 season. Last year, he posted a 15-9 overall record while wrestling at 157 and 165. He placed 3rd in the conference championships and added a 6th place finish at the NCAA Division III Midwest Regional. This season, he started at 165 and holds a 7-1 record, while most recently reaching the 3rd place match at the Concordia University Open. He's a graduate of St. Charles North High School and is accompanied by Tim and Diana. Tim Novarini. Ladies and gentlemen, could we have one more round of applause for all 5 Elmhurst Blue Jays seniors? And now, ladies and gentlemen,
there you have it, the Senior Day festivities, and now we are going to take a moment to pause as we play our national anthem.
Remove hats, caps, and any head coverings as we prepare to pay tribute to our country and to those who serve and protect it. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
From R.A. Fagnall Hall on the campus of Elmhurst College, it'll be the Elmhurst College Blue Jays facing off against the Concordia University Falcons, as the Falcons recently joining the CCIW in wrestling. We're going to have the starting lineups down on the mat for you right now. The Blue Jays coming in 2-0 under head coach Steve Marianetti. Have already defeated Wheaton and Shrine on the year. Both of them very convincing wins for the Blue Jays, as they took down Wheaton 35-12, and then walloped Trine 39-3. And we'll see if the Blue Jays can repeat something like that today. They face off against the Concordia Falcons. And here are the starting lineups for each team. At 125, it'll be Matthew Saldana of the Concordia University Falcons facing off against Anthony Munoz. At 141, it'll be Josh Cercio on the mat facing off against Ronnie Hauser. At 149, Miguel Betancourt of the Falcons facing off against Caleb Ramos of the Blue Jays. Eli Ware at 157 for Concordia of Wisconsin facing off against Gunnar Hjorth of Elmhurst. Eric Martinson at 165 for Concordia against Tim Novarini of the Blue Jays. Novarini, one of the seniors honored during the Senior Day festivities, along with Hauser, the two seniors who are wrestling today for the Blue Jays on Senior Day. Mason Mergener, who is a contender in the most recent D3 Wrestle rankings, facing off against Sean Swiderek. 2-2 overall. First duel we've seen Swiderek at this season here at home. He'll get the start, a junior, today. At 184, it'll be Alex Montebrand, the freshman, starting over Mitch Slatton today, so perhaps an injury or something of that sort for Slatton, who is a junior. At 11-6, instead it'll be Alex Montebrand, as I mentioned, and he will wrestle at 184 against Leo Ortiz of Elmhurst, 3-3 overall this year. At 197, Mason Baumgartner, perhaps one of the best wrestlers we'll see in today's duel, second in the D3 Wrestle rankings at 197, facing off against Mark Miller. And then a heavyweight John Hinson facing off against Scott Helton. Steve Marianetti, the head coach of the Blue Jays. Corey Van Graal, the head coach of the Falcons. And we'll have the coin toss down on the mat as we speak before we get this one underway. So the Blue Jays 2-0, as I mentioned, coming off of a couple of wins against Wheaton and Shrine at home. This one, the last home duel of the year for the Blue Jays. Elmhurst will also have the Al Henke Invitational here at R.A. Fagnall Hall, of course. And every year it is plenty of wrestling teams come here to wrestle in that Al Henke Invitational, so we'll see that in January. That'll be the last home event for the Blue Jays, but with this being the last duel, Senior Day being represented here in December, and 5 seniors were honored today. We saw them on the pregame ceremony. We're getting about ready for the 125 bout between Anthony Munoz and Matthew Saldana. Elmhurst also wrestled at the Concordia University Open, although nobody in the starting lineups actually wrestled against each other, surprisingly, at the Concordia University Open, despite both Elmhurst and Concordia being at that meet, in that tournament. Concordia 2-1, having defeated MSOE 37-7, lost at home against UW Parkside 28-18, and then defeated Lakeland convincingly 43-9. They've also wrestled at 3 tournaments, up at UW Stevens Point, at MSOE, and then, of course, at home at the 24th Annual Concordia University Open. So at 125, Anthony Munoz, a junior out of Zion, Illinois, went to Zion Benton High School, a 6-3 overall record, a 6th place finish at the Concordia University Open. He went 5-3 at that tournament. No points scored so far. First minute of the first period here at 125. Both wrestlers very active to start. Matthew Saldana from Long Beach, California, 3-7 overall record of freshman, as Munoz gets the first 2 of the day. And it's a takedown, and Munoz now on top to start. So 2-0 Munoz here, halfway through the first period at 125. Munoz against Saldana. Saldana, just a freshman, starting for the Falcons today at 125 versus Munoz. Lots of experience on the side of Anthony Munoz, who has started at times at 125 for his entire Elmhurst career, now in his third season with the Blue Jays. 1 minute to go, first period. Still 2-0 Munoz. Now attempting for an escape. Saldana is able to get it, and we're at even.
Stalling warning on green.
1 minute and 8 seconds on the scoreboard of riding time in favor of Munoz. After that last takedown, now the final 25 seconds of the first period. Already a stalling warning on Concordia so far. Final 10 seconds of the period. Munoz leading 2-1 with a minute of riding time. Disengage, and that'll do it for the first period. Munoz and Saldana, with Anthony Munoz from Elmhurst leading 2-1. Concordia's choice, and we're going to go to the scorer's table here and check on something. That was Corey Van Graal, the head coach of Concordia, Wisconsin, going to check on something at the scorer's table. Looked like a couple extra seconds of riding time may have ticked on the scoreboard, as Munoz will start this one on top. Looking for a reversal here, Concordia, but Munoz able to stay on top. Munoz now over a minute 15 in total riding time, leading 2-1 here in the second period at 125. Looking for some near fall points. The count is on, and 2 back points for Munoz.
A reminder, ladies and gentlemen, of a new rule this year in collegiate competition with the emphasis on action. When the wrestlers go out of the circle,
Munoz still on top, accumulating almost 2 minutes of riding time, now leading 4-1 over Matthew Saldana, the freshman from California. Munoz, a junior from Zion, Illinois. A junior, has had lots of experience during his time with Elmhurst and stays on top, spinning around here. 40 seconds to go here in the second period. Munoz has been able to ride out this period so far. Minute 20 seconds added onto his already total. Munoz trying to get some more back points here, and he'll get 2 more.
2 more back points.
Munoz extending his lead now to 6-1 over the freshman Saldana. Ten seconds to go. Munoz still trying to ride out this period. It looks like he's going to be able to do so as the final 5 seconds tick away. Tries to get some more back points here. Nicely done by Munoz at the end of the period. Give him 2 more. And that'll draw a nice applause from the Elmhurst crowd as Munoz is able to add it to his lead. It's now 8-1 in favor of the Elmhurst wrestler, and Anthony Munoz will have the choice whether to be up or down. It would take the entire period for Saldana to stay on top here if he was going to avoid the riding time point, but trailing 8-1, as that is the least of his worries. Saldana staying on top. Lots of action at the beginning. Now Munoz getting back to his feet, and he is going to be able to take this one, and with the reversal. Nicely done by Munoz, grabbing onto that right leg and then reversing it to stay on top here. The riding time continues to accumulate in favor of the Elmhurst wrestler. Now it's a 10-1 lead. Escape for Saldana. He gets 1 point, and it's an 8-point lead. But then Munoz right back with another takedown, leading 12-2. One more point for Saldana on another escape. Just 1 minute to go. Munoz out in front by 9 points.
Up on the legs. He can no longer stay back on the legs and ride his opponent for an extended period of time.
45 seconds to go here in the period. Both sides barking out calls to their wrestlers. And Concordia will get 2 more for a takedown here, which will push it to 12-5. Munoz does have the 7-point advantage plus the riding time point as well. So with this riding time point, he would make it a major decision with an 8-point win. Final 5 seconds. Munoz trying to get 1 more point. He will be unable to do so. And staying on top will be Saldana, but it'll be a major decision win. 13-5 major decision win for Anthony Munoz as he takes the bout at 125. And Elmhurst on the scoreboard first. Now 133, Jared Braun will take a forfeit. So Jared Braun takes the forfeit, and the Blue Jays now lead on the team score by 6 plus the major decision victory as well. 4 points for the major decision win, which now gives the Blue Jays a total of 10 points, and they lead 10-0 here on the team score. 13-5 major decision win for Anthony Munoz at 125, and that takes us to 141 after the forfeit at 133. Ronnie Hauser, second at the Concordia University Open since we last saw him. Hauser quickly on top, the senior on senior day, wrestling his first season with the Blue Jays. 5-1 on the year, and he is a contender in the D3 Wrestle rankings, just outside of the top 10 in the nation. Hauser transferring to Elmhurst from UW-Whitewater, where he wrestled his first 3 years. 1 for an escape for Curcio, the senior from Granger, Indiana. Hauser out of Hoffman Estates, Illinois, went to Fremd High School. 3-1 at the Concordia University Open for Hauser in his first tournament in a Blue Jay singlet. About halfway through the first period here at 141, 2-1 in favor of Hauser, and 10-0 in favor of the Blue Jays on the team score. One minute to go, first period. And there's Hauser again with 2 more on a takedown. 4-1 in favor of the Elmhurst wrestler as he looks to gain some back points. Referee not counting yet. Looking for it. Hauser unable to get any back points there, but still on top on the scoreboard, 4-1. And they're outside of the circle. Hauser will start on top as they head to the middle of the mat. Josh Curcio, a 2-5 record this year for the Falcons at 141. It's going to be interesting to see how this all, if it all evens out in the end. Some of the best wrestlers for Concordia wrestling at the heavier weight classes, 174 and 197, while the Blue Jays, some of their top wrestlers, Munoz with his experience, Hauser, a contender in the D3 Wrestle rankings, Novarini, a contender as well at 165. Caleb Ramos has been fairly effective as well this year. And we're going to get a reversal for Concordia, which gives 2 more points with 10 seconds to go here in the first period. It's going to be a 1-point bout here as we wrap up the first period. It's 4-3 in favor of the Elmhurst wrestler. A minute of riding time in favor of the home side. Elmhurst defers, and Cercio chooses down here. Cercio overall in his collegiate career, 32-56. Owns a 2-1 record in duels. So both of his wins coming in dual meets this year. And a point on an escape ties us up here at 4. Ronnie Hauser does have the minute and 19 seconds of riding time in his favor. Team score is still 10-0 in favor of the Blue Jays. Our third bout of the day in 141 after Anthony Munoz took a 13-5 major decision win, accumulating almost 3 minutes of riding time. And then Jared Braun on a forfeit at 133. And with the strength of Concordia at the bottom in the heavier weight classes, the heavier portions of the lineup, it'll be interesting to see how the Blue Jays can extend their lead, if they can make a too tall of a hill to climb for Concordia. As here comes Hauser, nicely done on the takedown, and now he's going to get some back points as well. Very aggressive Hauser here, looking for the pin. Trying for it on senior day, rolling over the wrestler. Referee not budging yet. Very close. Hauser continuing to fight Cercio. There it is with 33 seconds to go in the second period. A pin for Hauser, the senior on senior day in his first season with the Blue Jays. Hauser moves to 6-1 on the season with a pin of Josh Cercio. The second period pin for Ronnie Hauser on senior day. The senior extends the Blue Jay lead. And now it's Caleb Ramos, the junior from Romeoville, taking on Miguel Betancourt, 7-6 overall record, a sophomore from El Paso, Texas. And there's the first points of this bout at 149. Caleb Ramos with a takedown, 16-0 Blue Jays team score. Quick escape for Betancourt here. As I mentioned, a sophomore. Betancourt 11-11 overall in his collegiate career after going 4-5 last season. He, like Cercio, is also 2-1 overall in dual meets. Ramos once again on top. 4-1 in favor of the Elmhurst wrestler. 2 quick takedowns. Minute 15 into the first period. Ramos 3-3 on the year. Betancourt already, just hitting the beginning portions of December, has already wrestled more than he did all of last year. The escape point for Betancourt is now 4-2 in favor of the Elmhurst wrestler. 34 seconds of riding time and a 16-0 Elmhurst lead on the team score. Major decision win for Munoz. Forfeit from win by Jared Braun, and then Ronnie Hauser with the fall in 4:27. Final minute of the first period. Ramos already 2 takedowns, Betancourt 2 escapes, and that's where we're at 4-2. Quick action there from Betancourt, but nothing came of it. He actually ended up on his backside. Bit of a vulnerable position, but Ramos unable to take advantage. Betancourt quick to his feet. A lot of out of state from the lighter weight classes of this Concordia lineup, really all up and down it. We had Saldana from California, and then Curcio from Granger, Indiana, now Betancourt from El Paso, Texas. The next three wrestlers will be out of the state of Wisconsin. Concordia located in Mequon, just north of Milwaukee. Really very beautiful campus right on the lakefront, as that'll do it for period number 1. The lead is 4-2. Ramos will take the down position here. 2 minutes on the clock for the second, and we're underway. Second period, 4-2 in the bout. Ramos trying to get to his feet. He does, but quickly thrown back down to the mat by Betancourt. Trying to flip him around, and Ramos is up. Escape, 1 point for Elmhurst. 5-2 in favor of Ramos. Trying to spin around and get another takedown. Wrapping that left arm around. Betancourt then wraps the arm around well to stop the momentum, and will be at a standstill outside of the circle. And they'll start it even. (16-0) team score in favor of the Blue Jays. Minute 20 to go here in the second period at 1:49. Caleb Ramos of the Blue Jays, the junior out of Romeoville, facing off against Miguel Betancourt, a sophomore out of El Paso, Texas, for Concordia of Wisconsin. Concordia, a new member of the CCIW. One of their wrestlers, Mason Baumgartner, earned his first Conference Player of the Week award. Ramos gets that leg over. Both 2 points for Caleb Ramos on a takedown, 7-2 in favor of the Elmhurst wrestler. Riding time currently at 25 seconds. Both times Ramos has taken the takedown before. It's been a quick escape by Betancourt. This time Ramos looking to ride out the rest of the period and get over that minute of riding time. 30 seconds to go here in the second period. .55 seconds of riding time now. Just a couple more seconds before Ramos will be at that minute mark, and Concordia will have the option of up or down starting into the third period. 14.3 to go, second period, 7-2 in favor of Caleb Ramos, who now has over a minute of riding time. 16-0 Elmhurst in the team score. Major decision win at 125 from Anthony Munoz, 13-5. Jared Braun won by forfeit at 133. And Ronnie Hauser, a pin in 4 minutes and 27 seconds. To take down Josh Curcio, and Concordia will start down here. A minute 11 seconds of riding time in favor of Ramos, and a 7-2 lead heading into the third. Crowd, which was pretty quiet to start, starting to get into it a little bit more as the duel progresses. A little bit more as the Blue Jays continue to extend their lead. 16-0 team score, and Ramos in control here at 149. Minute 15 to go here in the third period. 2 minutes of riding time for Ramos, who has now essentially clinched that extra .4 riding time. Currently a 5-point lead. Of course, he needs 8 points for a major decision win. He would need another couple of takedowns. Now trying to get some back points to potentially get himself there. He's been able to ride out the remainder of this third period, and now We're going to get a whistle. And then we'll come back to the center of the mat. 44 seconds to go. Here in period 3 at 1:49. Second out of 3 bouts to go all the way to the third period. Already had a fall and a forfeit so far. Ramos stays on top here. Would need a 2-point near fall. 2 back points if you want to get that major decision win. Here they might come now. Ramos trying to get those back points. Only 1 count. So no count given that time. Good look from Ramos there who wants to get one more. Lots of encouragement from the Elmhurst bench. Ramos looking for those back points. 2 more he would need in the next 10 seconds if he wants to get the major decision win. 7-2. 3 minutes of riding time in favor of Ramos. Final seconds of this one ticking away, and Caleb Ramos is going to cruise to a decision victory. 8-2 by decision. Caleb Ramos at 1:49 is the winner, as Elmhurst takes a 19-0 lead on the team score. Next up, it'll be 157. Gunnar Jorth, 6-2 on the year, out of Yorkville, Illinois. Yorkville High School, a junior, facing off against Eli Ware, the first Wisconsin native to wrestle so far today for the Falcons, out of Brookfield, Wisconsin, and Brookfield East High School. Lots of early action in this one. Jorth against Eli Ware. And there's 2 points for a takedown for Eli Ware right away. Ware overall on the season 10-5. He got 5th at the MSOE Open, one of the tournaments that Concordia wrestled at earlier this year. That one actually the last time they were in action. Currently leading Ware is 2-0. First takedown went to the Concordia Falcon. Elmhurst with the white and blue singlets and the Blue Jay on the front. The Falcons with that Falcon on the back and the blue with the white trim. The whistle, and we'll start in the middle of the mat once again. 1:37 to go here in the first period. A 2-0 lead for Eli Ware of the Falcons. Just a freshman, but Ware showing some pretty impressive results so far. This one has been an action-packed bout at 157 to this point. Lots of movement all around the mat. Ware scored the first takedown, is currently accumulated 1 minute and 21 seconds of riding time as it stops here with an escape, 2-1 in favor of the visitor, Eli Ware from Concordia University. And here comes Jorth. Nice job with the takedown there to take the lead. Now at 3-2. And Jorth will have a chance to cut into this riding time deficit. 40 seconds to go here in the period. 1 minute 10 seconds of riding time on the clock in favor of Ware. Jorth now on top as a member of the Blue Jays. Jorth 6-2 on the year. 4-2 his record at the Concordia Open. Falcons have been a bit busier than the Blue Jays in the early portions of the year. Roll around here. Coach is barking out calls from the bench. Final 10 seconds of the first. Ticking down 3, 2, and 1, and that'll do it for the first period. So a 3-2 lead for Jorth, a 31-second riding time advantage for Ware through 1. Ware will choose down, and now we're back underway. Second period, 19-0 on the team score in favor of the Blue Jays. A 13-5 major decision win for Munoz. At 125, 133, Jared Braun earned a forfeit. Ronnie Hauser at 141 won by fall. And then Caleb Ramos of the Blue Jays an 8-2 win by decision at 149. Elmhurst has won all 4 bouts at this point. 3 of them actually contested on the mat and 1 forfeit. Jorth looking for some back points here. I don't know if they've given the points yet. I think we're still at even here. Jorth, after starting the period on top. Ware trying to get up, trying to get the escape. Jorth holding on, and they're outside of the circle. Good job by Jorth there. Lots of action, but able to stay on top. 1 minute and 5 seconds to go here in the second period. It's a 3-2 lead for the Elmhurst wrestler. He has flipped a 30-second deficit in riding time to now a 24-second lead. Caution on Ware here, the visitors. And there's the whistle back underway. Jorth trying to get some back points. We saw Ramos try to do the same thing at the end of his bout at 149 unsuccessfully, but still able to get the win. Ware making himself a very worthy adversary here for the Elmhurst wrestler. The Jorth, first season starting in duels for the Blue Jays at 157. 6-2 overall record, as we've mentioned before. But Eli Ware has been a very impressive freshman. 10-5. He's had a couple of more results. There'll be a stalling warning there on Jorth. 29 seconds to go here in the second period. 19-0 in favor of the Blue Jays on the team score. This one, the 5th bout of the day at 157. Eli Ware trying to circle back around, and this is going to be a stalling call, which will tie us up 3-3 now. 15 seconds left in the second period. Jorth now 3-3 riding time, still in favor of Jorth, and now it is 1:20 to go, so still a second period. This has been a highly contested bout here in 157. That'll do it for the second period. Elmhurst chooses down here. So Jorth has a couple of options here. If he escapes, regardless, he'll get 1 more point. If he can escape in the first 28 seconds, that would be essentially a 2-point lead, and there he is. There's the escape. So it's a 4-3 lead and a minute 23 seconds of riding time in his favor. Gunnar Jorth with the advantage. Minute 40 to go here in this bout at 157. But a good one coming up next as well. Some of the higher weight class bouts should be very good matchups. And Jorth is outside of the circle there, so just able to escape potentially what could have been a takedown and what would have virtually tied the score. But then if Ware could ride out 23 seconds, then that would put him in the lead. Minute 23 seconds of riding time to this point. Ware, as we've seen, consistently aggressive here in this bout at 157. Jorth trying to spin around, trying to get a takedown. Both wrestlers grabbing the leg. This is a tough position here for Gunnar Jorth, who now a takedown converted by Eli Ware. 20 seconds of riding time on the clock in favor. So a minute and 20 seconds of riding time in favor of Ajorth. He's now trailing 5-4. So 10 seconds to get up, essentially. Eli Ware very tough to get up from, and if he can't get up now in the next couple of seconds, Ajorth is going to be trailing, and now he is 5-4 in favor of the Concordia Falcon, and with only 56 seconds of riding time in favor of Ajorth. He needs to escape to move this one to an extra period. Elmhurst fans know he needs a little extra support here. Eli Ware talking with the official briefly before taking his position on top of Gunnar Ajorth. And we have a caution on Ware. 22 seconds to go here in this bout at 157. It's been a tight one throughout, now 5-4. Ajorth needs to get up. He was able to do so on the fast restart. Last time, does again. Big escape for Gunnar Ajorth to tie the score at 5. Ware continuing to fight here right away. 7 seconds to go. Down to the mat they go, still at even, and 2 points for a takedown, and that is going to do it. Eli Ware takes it, final score 7-5, and so that last takedown is the decider. And that takedown with just a couple of seconds left will make Eli Ware the winner at 157. And the first points on the team score for Concordia, Wisconsin, it's now a 19-3 advantage on that team score in favor of the Blue Jays. Tim Novarini, another one of the seniors honored today on Senior Day, 165. And Novarini right away with the action and the takedown. 23 seconds in, Novarini is on top 2-0 with his first takedown of the day. Looking for some back points. He's getting plenty of them here. Novarini, 7-1 overall this year, reached the third place match at 165 pounds at the Concordia University Open, but opted not to wrestle that third place match because his teammate Keone Durain was his opponent, so they opted not to wrestle there. Novarini, a contender in the D3 wrestle rankings at 165. Novarini looking for some more back points. The count is on. Count gets to 4, just 2 minutes to go here in the first period, a minute in. 4 more near fall points. And it's 10-0, not even halfway through the first period. Novarini dominating this one early, facing off against Eric Martinson, the sophomore from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Greendale High School, 5-7 overall on the season this year. The count is at 4 once again, and that'll be 4 more near fall points for Novarini. Three 4-point near falls plus the takedown, and there's an escape. 14-1. Novarini looking to finish it with one more takedown. A minute to go here in the first period. Almost able to get around there. Martinson fighting hard. And there it is, Novarini. With 46 seconds to go in the first period, it's a 16-1 technical fall. Make it 17-1 actually with that minute 28 seconds of riding time. 17-1 final in favor of Tim Novarini. And it took just 2 minutes and 14 seconds to get there. And now we have another ranked wrestler This time a contender in the D3 Wrestle rankings, much like Novarini, 174. Mason Mergener facing off against Sean Swiderek. First time we've seen Swiderek here in Elmhurst. Is a 2-2 record after wrestling at the Concordia, Wisconsin Open. Swiderek, a junior from Chicago, Illinois. Mergener. 2 points for a takedown. The count is on as well. Now Swiderek trying for some action. They get pushed off the mat. Two back points for Mergener makes it now a 4-0 lead here in the bout. It is a 24-3 lead on the team score.
Mergener graduate of Coleman High School. He's from Cribbets, Wisconsin. This senior has a 15-2 record. Ranked 10th in the nation in the latest National Wrestling Coaches Association rankings.
Two more back points for Mergener here, who has taken a commanding 6-0 lead. Once again, with some more back points, Mergener piling it on here at 174. Mergener relentless here. 4 more back points. Now a 10-0 lead, and much like we saw at 165 in favor of the Blue Jays, looking like a similar result here at 174 as Mergener tries to continue to gain those back points, staying on top against Sean Swiderek at 174. Four more back points counted out, so if that was the case, that would be it. In this one, it would be 16-0. And that'll do it. 16-0 in favor of Mason Mergener. Mason Mergener with a technical fall victory over Sean Swiderek here in 174. And that'll make it now 24-8 in favor of Elmhurst on the team score. Now it'll be Leo Ortiz facing off against Alex Montebrand. So really, we've only seen one close bout so far today. It was at 157 where Eli Ware had a takedown in the final seconds. 2 minutes and 18 seconds on that technical fall for Mergener. 2 minutes and 14 seconds on the technical fall for Novarini at 165 in favor of Elmhurst. 24-8 win. 24-8 on the team score. The Blue Jays on top here. Ortiz, now the freshman, 3-3 overall out of Chicago, Illinois, facing off against Alex Montebrand, who is a freshman, 1-6 overall on the year. Montebrand, bit of a homecoming for him, not too far from his hometown of Schaumburg, Illinois. He went to Bartlett High School. Ortiz out of Mount Carmel High School, a native of Chicago, 3-2 at the Concordia of Wisconsin Open, and 3-3 overall on the season for Ortiz. No score so far, minute 15 into this first period. Elmhurst took the first 4 bouts of the day before Concordia, Wisconsin got their first win on a last-second takedown by Eli Ware at 157. And then Novarini bounced back for the Blue Jays with a technical fall win before Mergener of the Falcons matched it. And that brings us to the score at 24-8, a takedown for the freshman Ortiz over the freshman Montebrand. And Ortiz finds himself on top here at 184, 2-0. Final two bouts should be good ones as well. Mark Miller, a sophomore for the Blue Jays, facing off against Mason Baumgartner, ranked second in the D3 Wrestle rankings right now overall, an 8-1 record. Interesting to see how Miller stacks up against Baumgartner. Miller did a very good job facing off against a good wrestler at 197 against Wheaton in one of the bouts when we were here, one of the duels. Ortiz looking for some back points here. There's the count. Count going away. Now trying to finish it off with a first period fall. 28 seconds to go here in the first period. There it is. 6 more points on the team score for the Blue Jays. Ortiz with the fall. Check it out once again on the replay. Nicely done by Ortiz, who held it there for a while until finally the referee gave it. And Leo Ortiz. 2 minutes and 38 seconds on the fall. 30-8 in favor of Elmhurst. And it looks like we're not actually going to have a bout at 197. So it's going to be a forfeit. Mason Baumgartner ends up forfeiting at 197. And so instead of wrestling Mark Miller, they will give the Blue Jays the 6 points, and we're down to our final bout of the day. Scott Helton, first match of the year, first bout of the season for Elmhurst, facing off against John Hinson, the senior, a 9-8 record overall this year out of Glendale, Arizona. And wouldn't you guess it, it's Cactus High School. Hinson overall in his collegiate career, 32-39. 1-2 record overall in duels so far this year. And 3 Falcons who are so far undefeated this year in duels. But now no more. Eric Martinson was undefeated in duels this year before getting taken down 17-1 technical fall by Tim Novarini. And look out here on the near side as the wrestlers come tumbling. There's Bobby Schillinger, one of the seniors who was honored today, is down there, and he's not phased, of course, being a wrestler himself. Minute 10 seconds in, 36-8 on the team score in favor of the Blue Jays. This one all but wrapped up. Last bout here of the day is at 285. Other undefeated wrestlers for Concordia. We have a stalling warning here on Concordia. John Hinson. Other ones, Mason Mergener, who stayed undefeated today in duels, now 4-0. And on the season, 16-2. Mergener putting in a steady performance of solid numbers so far this year. A contender in the D3 Wrestle rankings at 174, just outside of the top 10. Then Mitchell Slatton, who did not wrestle today. Instead, it was the freshman Montebrand who lost by fall to Leo Ortiz. One minute to go here in the first period at 285. 36-8 in favor of Elmhurst on the team score. So far, Anthony Munoz with a major decision win at 125. Jared Braun won by forfeit at 133. Ronnie Hauser won by fall in 4 minutes 27 seconds at 141. And then Caleb Ramos at 149, an 8-2 decision win for the Blue Jays, winning the first 4 bouts of the day. Eli Ware converted on a late takedown in the final seconds to defeat Gunnar Hajorth at 157, which put the first points on the board for Concordia. Then Tim Novarini, a fall in 2:14, able to defeat Eric Martinson with relative ease. A technical fall in 17-1 in 2 minutes 14 seconds. Then Mason Mergener just about matched it, 16-0. Technical foul in 2 minutes and 18 seconds. As we wrap up the first period here at 2:85, still no points on the scoreboard at this juncture. Leo Ortiz in 184 bounced back for the Blue Jays, a fall in 2 minutes and 38 seconds. First period fall for Ortiz. And then Mark Miller earned a forfeit over Mason Baumgartner. Baumgartner opting not to wrestle today. Ranked second in the D3 wrestle rankings at 197. So instead we move straight to 285, which is on the mat right now. It is senior day for the Blue Jays. Luis Montoya honored, Ronnie Hauser, Tom Angston, Tim Novarini, and Bobby Schillinger. The seniors honored today on senior day for the Blue Jays in the Elmhurst wrestling program. This is the last home duel for Elmhurst this year, but they will be home one more time. They will host the Al Hankey Invitational on January 14th, beginning at 9 a.m. here in Elmhurst. But the final home duel of the season. Here's the rest of the schedule for the Blue Jays. 1 minute, still scoreless. 1 minute to go here in the second period here at 285. They're at the Gator Duels on December 17th, I should say. About a week from Saturday. And then they will take the holidays off before wrestling again on the road at North Central January 10th, and then wrestling at the Al Hankey Invitational on the 14th of January. An escape point for Scott Helton, the junior, from Elmhurst, Illinois, and York High School. Wrestling here 285, his first bout of the season. Minute and 20 seconds of riding time accumulated by John Hinson. And the rest of the schedule for the Blue Jays will be all on the road at the University of Chicago, January 21st, at Wheaton College's Pete Wilson Invitational on the 27th and 28th, at the CCIW Duels on February 4th, and then at the CCIW Championships at Wheaton College on February 9th. And then, of course, the Midwest Regional, hosted at North Manchester, Indiana, on February 25th, 26th, and then at the Division III Championships, hosted by UW La Crosse, March 10th through the 11th. Helton will start on top, trying to wither away the seconds of riding time. Instead, he will not. A little frustrated by his effort on top there. Still a minute of 14 seconds of riding time in favor of John Hinson. Not only that, but that also a 1-1 tie on the scoreboard so far in this bout, as we have two escapes so far, and then the riding time in favor of Hinson of Concordia, Wisconsin. 9-8 overall in a senior season for Hinson. Again, this is Helton's first bout of 2016 as a junior. One minute to go in this final bout of the day. Elmhurst already locking up the team score, leading right now 36-8. Helton needs a takedown if he wants to win here. 1-1 the tie score in terms of bout score right now, but a minute and 14 seconds of riding time in favor of John Hinson. Hinson does already have a caution for stalling. So that means that if he gets called for stalling again, it will be a point in the favor of his opponent for Elmhurst. 20 seconds to go. Support coming from the Elmhurst side, but only 10 seconds to go as Helton gets thrown down to the mat. Final 5 seconds ticking away. He'll take one last swipe at the leg, but that'll be it. And it'll be John Hinson who takes the victory 2-1 by decision over Scott Helton of Elmhurst, and Concordia wins their third bout of the day, and that will be a final here today. 36-11 is the final score here in this duel between the Elmhurst Blue Jays and the Concordia Falcons. Elmhurst moves to 3-0 on the season, while Concordia falls to 2-2. Here's once again a recap of the scoring here on Senior Day. The Blue Jays take the victory 36-11. Anthony Munoz, a major decision win at 125. Jared Braun won by forfeit at 133. Ronnie Hauser by fall in 4 minutes and 27 seconds. And Caleb Ramos, an 8-2 decision win at 149, which put the Blue Jays up big. Eli Ware scored the first points for the Falcons. A last-second takedown to win 7-5 at 157. Tim Novarini, a technical fall at 165 in the first period. Mason Mergener, same thing for the Falcons at 174. Leo Ortiz, a fall in 2 minutes and 38 seconds at 184. Mark Miller, a forfeit for the Blue Jays at 197, which gave him an extra 6 points in the Elmhurst team score. And John Hinson wrapped out the duel with a win at 285, 2-1. Thank you to Frankie for the great camera work and production today. I'm Luke Tanaka saying so long from R.A. Fagnall Hall. Again, the Blue Jays will be home for the Al Hankey Invitational, but this is the final home duel of the season. We hope you enjoyed our broadcast of Elmhurst Wrestling this season, and we hope you continue to follow along with the Elmhurst Wrestling program. Follow at elmhurstbluejays.com for more information. Luke Tanaka saying so long from R.A. Fagnall Hall. Final score once again, Elmhurst 36 and Concordia, Wisconsin 11.